right, this is the Committee on Government Operations, Public Safety, and Public Service. This is Thursday, May 12, 2016. We're at 6 p.m. I have Council McKinnon.
Here.
I have Council Capone.
Here.
And I have Council Hanlon. Here. We have 3 members present. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do have 2 regrets. Councilman McLaughlin and Councilman Della Sola unable to attend.
Mr. Chairman, we suspend the rules and take item number 8.
Motion made to suspend rules, take item number 8. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. You have number 8.
Right. Item number 8 is a resolution offered by Council Peter Napolitano to request the city engineer at this meeting to discuss the plans for changing the traffic pattern on Church Street.
Can we please have the sponsor before?
Motion made and seconded to have the sponsor before us. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. He's not here.
Okay.
He actually spoke to him.
Okay.
Good evening. Peter Napolitano, 169 Cottage Street, Everett, Mass., Councilor at Large.
Thank you.
I did speak with the city engineer at our meeting Monday night. We discussed the traffic patterns and what was actually going on regarding the Church Street. So he's going to look into it. He's going to propose a traffic study on maybe isolating Church Street as a one-way all the way to Linden, as a separation between the entrance onto Linden and then Webster here, one way from Linden to Broadway. So if that's the case, there won't be any need to make changes to the existing island because traffic taking the turn on from Church to Webster won't have to be concerned with traffic coming at them from the other direction. So what I'm going to ask is that we just send this bit sent along to the city engineer for a possible response in 30 days as far as whether or not if there's any results from the traffic survey that he's going to request.
Response back 30 days.
Please.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Hanlon?
if I could, did the engineer say anything at all about blackening out the whites? Because they're having a special event down there, they had told us, remember the Cadillo people told us?
Yeah, I think that's a separate issue. We were more concerned, when our conversation was more centered on the fact that the original proposal that the city council made 2 years ago, and what we ended up as a result, it seemed like the focus was somehow shifted off from isolating the Church Street and the Webb Street traffic, and that's what created this one-way turn down to the bend, and that's what's creating some of the issues that are going on down there. But I don't have any information on that. Strictly about, we're mainly talking about, the liability to the city, getting a traffic engineer to maybe design that so we can accomplish what we originally proposed. So that's kind of where it's at right now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Capone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. So do you want it to refer back to the committee, or do you want us to refer out to the body and have it come back to the body in 30?
Council, we do have the engineer before us. You want him before us, the body?
Yes.
Could we have the engineer come before us? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the engineer, please come before us. State your name and title.
Bill O'Rourke, Director of Engineering.
Thank you for appearing.
Yeah, Mr. O'Rourke,
Councilman Hanlon?
we went through that, we know what's gonna happen down there, but my question was on the traffic lines that are down there now, those white marks that are on the street, the yellow marks that are on the street.
Right.
And are they gonna go before, I forget the date, what's the date, Peter, the 20th or something like that?
I'm not sure I have all that
Anyway,
material.
very, very close, they're having a function over there.
Right.
They're having people from all over the place come down, so they want to know if we get those lines blacked out.
Okay.
If we could get those lines blacked out in time for that event.
We had a meeting early in the week
Yes.
with the owners of the church. Sat down with them, discussed the lines, went out there and discussed the lines. We agreed to black out a number of lines. They asked for more. My opinion was that we jeopardize public safety if we black out more. I am not interested in jeopardizing public safety, okay? Going forward, what the city is interested in doing is hiring a traffic consultant that is an authority on all these traffic lines, because everybody has an opinion on these lines. I would like to have an authority that designs these every day to tell us what is a safe amount of striping, what is a sufficient traffic pattern for Church and Webster, and then we were interested in implementing this recommendation. We should have some budget come the new fiscal year to undertake this study, and then we can pull the trigger on a simple design, and then hopefully we can be under construction if some construction things are necessary come this fall.
Sounds good. So that's the way it is, and we're just gonna temporarily help them with a few lines blacked out? Is that-
We have already blacked out some lines. We have agreed to black out some lines. The owners want additional lines blacked out. They claim some lines are placed in backwards. I looked into it. They are not placed in backwards. If we are to black out additional lines as they request of us, we are jeopardizing public safety. We are looking at liability if, in fact, an accident takes place at the intersection.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Capone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real quick, to you through city engineer. I think the things you might be talking about backwards, I just wanted, for my own understanding, there are like 3 triangles?
Yeah,
What's the technical
all right.
name of that?
Those are shark teeth yield chevrons,
Okay.
and they are not backwards. I have looked at some different designs. I have witnessed them the last couple of days in other municipalities, and our traffic consultant that is doing a 25% design on Ferry Street has these shark teeth chevrons in his design. They are hanging on our DPW director's wall, and they are not backwards.
Which way is the point supposed to go, with traffic
No.
or against it?
It points in the direction of
Oncoming traffic?
oncoming traffic, so the point is towards the driver.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
I have one from the chair. For the sake of the event that's going to be going on down there, is there any way that we could actually get some type of barrier up there so that they feel comfortable with having the event there when this is going on? It's a couple of weeks, I mean, maybe a week away.
You know, I had suggested to the owners that they are free to hire police details for their event if they choose. Now, that wouldn't be at the expense of the city. They could hire as many police details if they wanted to, and direct traffic, parking, and so on. If their event is that big, I'd recommend it. But as far as us placing, what type of barriers are you talking about?
The wooden horse barriers?
If we can assist in dropping them off for them to be used on the day of the event, is the day of an event a Saturday or a Sunday? I'm not sure.
It's the 22nd. I think that
It's
might
a
be a
Sunday.
Sunday.
We can look at letting them borrow some horses, certainly. I don't see it appropriate if DPW personnel show up on overtime to place those barriers. At the same time, I have a concern that if we provide barriers, will they be placed properly in a safe fashion that doesn't impact public safety? I don't have the answer to that.
Okay, thank you. What's your pleasure on the piece, gentlemen?
Gentlemen,
If we could, to the
Counselor?
sponsor, what would you like to do with it?
Thank you. Well, first of all, again, what I recommended before was before the city engineer came up and advised that there will be a traffic study. So at this point, just refer it back to sponsor.
Okay.
I'm comfortable that the proper action will be taken, and we have a clear understanding now of what we're looking to accomplish there. So I'm good with that.
Okay. Excuse customary thanks.
Excuse the customary thanks.
There's another
If you could
piece for you,
just stay, Bill.
Move we refer this back to sponsor.
Motion made and seconded to refer back to sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. They have done so.
Mr. Chairman, suspend the rules, take item number 5.
Motion made to suspend the rules and take item number 5. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, item number 5. This is a resolution by Councilor Leo McKinnon to have the engineer come before this committee to explain when Ashton Street will be repaved and finished.
I'm going to read this from the chair. Mr. Engineer, when would the Ashton Street be done paving and also the side streets off of it?
The side streets off Ashton wasn't clear to me. We're talking about the side streets that have had water mains?
Cumberland Street.
Did Cumberland Street have a water main installed last year?
Actually, they were looking at it and they were going to do it. It was added to the street to be paved.
Okay. We have a contract, one we are signing right now with our low bidder, Marchese and Sons.
Sure.
These streets, we have a preliminary list, and in general, the streets on that list have had new water mains installed in the last couple years, okay? We are going to be doing some investigation of the sewer and drains. We're going to be putting a camera through them to determine if they're in good shape, if they need some spot repairs, or if they need complete replacement. Ashton Street, as part of this contract one, we will be inspecting the sewer and drain in the street. Hopefully, they're in good condition. If they need a spot repair here and there, we will do that as part of contract 2. Contract 2 should be bid in the next couple of, I'd say in the next month or so, and awarded early summer. And I believe Ashton Street will be on that list.
Okay.
Ashton Street has a 12-inch water main, and that was on our list to replace. But the water superintendent decided because it is such a large water main, we could wait another 10 years. We can pave the street, and then 10 years down the line, we'll look at that water main for replacement again.
So in the next couple of months, that'll get done, Cumberland and Ashland? Ashton?
In the next month, we anticipate having the camera van out there on the street investigating sewers and drains, making sure they're in good condition. We're going to put them in good condition prior to paving.
Okay.
If it needs a full replacement, it's not likely, but that could put off paving. If it's in great shape, and most of the pipes are in decent shape, then we would proceed with paving Ashton Street mid to late summer.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. I'm going to refer this back to
So moved.
refer it back to sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Excuse the customary thank you for appearing tonight. And take number 2.
He's on number 6. Do you want to take that one?
Take it.
Suspend the rules, take item number 6.
With the health department, wouldn't it?
No, Motion made to take item number 6. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
All right, item number 6. This is a resolution by Councilor McKinnon that ISD Code Enforcement Engineer appear this meeting to give input to propose a new ordinance that awarded to dig within city limits for parks and building new developments, have bait or bait trap set site before, during, and after to stop pest problems.
Make a motion to have Frank Basil come up.
we please have Frank Nuzzo before us as well?
If you could just state your name and title, please.
Frank Nuzzo, Director of Code Enforcement.
Thank you. Thank you for appearing tonight. This is my piece again. My question is to you for the engineering department. Do we have anything that's currently in place now? I know we have spoke about this, that's on the books for any type of digging or any type of, maybe parks or something to that effect to actually be trapped or bait trapped. Is there anything currently on the books now?
We looked and I didn't find anything. Jim Soper also looked. We don't have anything. So it's probably good that it's before us. I know we've had some situations occur recently that, warrant it to be happening. So
Mhm.
I think we might have to visit that and try to make some changes to the ordinance, the dumpster ordinance.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll refer this out to you, Ms. Nuzzo, and
Okay.
then, okay. And then what I'll do is I'll come by and we'll put something together, hopefully with the body up here too as well for input. Councilman Hanlon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to Mr. Nuzzo, we have in the past, I'm sure you're well aware of it, many years ago, put bait traps in places where they're doing construction, digging up grounds and everything. Was that just because they said, okay, we'll do it, or was there anything covering it at all? Maybe
No,
state-
I think in that case, when there's like demolition of buildings, it's a requirement of the permitting process that they do that. Where we're talking about a park,
Grounds and everything?
just digging up the soil, it's
Okay,
not
that's-
covered in that.
That's good enough, okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Excuse the customary thanks. I'm going to refer this to Frank Nuzzo, Inspectional Services, and also Engineering, Bill O'Rourke.
So moved.
Thank you.
All those in favors?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. You have done so. Thank you for appearing tonight, gentlemen.
Were we gonna talk at all about the other dumpster issues?
I
Oh, yeah.
believe,
On the rest of that, yeah.
The other half of it?
yeah, there is another section to it, which would be the ISD section, which is,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's the second half of item number 6.
yes.
So if I may, Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Hanlon?
Yeah, Frank, are you aware of us or any other city of municipality down here having that kind of an ordinance where they could actually put put traps or bait in these dumpster sites?
We haven't checked with any other cities, but we did check with our own ordinances, and we couldn't come up with anything. But again, anytime code enforcement gets involved with a rodent issue, a problem, we have the authority or the right to request, that an exterminator be hired and us show 'em the contract that the property managers or property owners have agreed to and keep it in effect during the construction, or if there's an ongoing problem, they just have it all the time, like rooming houses, stuff like that.
I think that the problem with this was to be proactive with it and to
Right.
say that anyone that has a dumpster
Mhm.
have those things, those traps, whatever they are, available,
Right.
rather than wait for it to happen and to stop it ahead of time, I think that's what the intent of this was, so.
Absolutely, and I agree with it, and
I
I think,
will also ask our city clerk, who's very good at this, to look up all the other cities and towns to see who may have these kinds of things. All we do is just, we look at their ordinance and make a few changes, and we try to get it passed over here. So I'll ask Michael to do that, too.
that'd be great, and I'd be happy to work with them.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, on phase 2 of the question 6, we'll send that to you as well,
Okay,
and also to you. Excuse the customary thanks.
all right, thank you.
Motion made and seconded to send this to ISD and also engineering. All those in favor? All those opposed? And we'll report back to grant further time and report back in June with a ordinance for this. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. You want to take number 2?
Suspend rules, take item number 2.
Zika. Actually, why don't we take,
Regular order of business, go back to 1.
yeah, I'll go with 1. Motion made and seconded to refer the regular order of business.
All right, resolution up by Council McKinnon to discuss West Nile, the new Zika virus outbreak.
Could we have the health director before us, please? Could you just state your name and title, please?
on now? Okay. Elaine Silver, I'm the nursing supervisor and the interim director for the health department.
Thank you for appearing tonight. If you could just bring us up on some of the CDC stuff that's going on now with the, and concerns of the Zika and also West Nile, and any information that you have in regards to US-born or US documentation of that.
I do have some packets for you with some Zika information.
Thank you.
It's not West Nile season yet. The West Nile virus usually doesn't come in until mid-July. We will be following our normal procedure for mosquito control, which is with Eastern Middlesex, in which we do the larvicide into our sewer. As you know, mosquitoes are breeding in the waters, so that's where we go and get them. We usually have 3 traps that are placed. They are checked weekly by the Department of Public Health. If in the event that we do get a West Nile positive little mosquito, some little bug decides he's going to come to visit us here in Everett, we do get notified from the state, and we will proceed the same way we have in the past. We will take a reverse 911 call. We will send it out to the city to remind them of the mosquito control. We also do have public service announcements through ECTV in regards to what to do during mosquito season, so we will be starting those within the next month or 2.
Okay.
The Zika virus, I know everyone's a little bit scared with it, and it's a little, I guess it is a little scary. To me, I'm not really worried about it. The mosquitoes who actually carry the Zika virus do not come here in this part of the country. They're very resilient. As you know, a normal mosquito will sit in water. When that water dries out, that mosquito's gone within a day or 2. These little mosquitoes can live actually in a bottle cap. Once that water is drained out, they can live for another 2 to 3 weeks. All of the cases that supposedly are still suspect cases or have been proven that the person does have Zika here in the United States have all been obtained out of the country. They have been exposed to it. They have traveled to countries and areas where this particular mosquito is, and this particular disease is very popular, as I would say. As to what the protection is for people, the people is to remember, if you are going to one of these countries, it's all on the CDC website. Look when you're traveling, take your precautions. If you plan on becoming pregnant or are pregnant, the CDC does advise you not to travel to these areas. There has been most of the thing with the Zika is that you don't even know, 80% of the people don't even know they have it. It's very mild symptoms. You may have a little fever, a little bit sore, a little bit of a rash, and that's it. And the problem is that it lands. Most of it is more sexually transmitted, and their CDC is in the process of doing a huge study. The highest area that's closest to us right now is in Puerto Rico, in which the CDC has put all their efforts into.
Is there
being
also a Brazilian?
In Brazil,
okay.
it is. Brazil, it has been. Zika has been around since 1943. There is some question as to why all of a sudden these birth defects, can it cause birth defects? It can. Anyone who is pregnant and thinks they have been exposed is under, a doctor's care. They'll do ultrasounds constantly during the pregnancy to see if they can see if there will be a birth defect. But there is some question as to whether or not it is all related to the Zika virus. It's still kind of a big mystery still. But the thing,
Is it considered a hotspot for CDC?
is it? Yes, it is. They actually have taken funding from the government, and as a result, there's other funding in emergency preparedness that is being geared just towards the Zika.
Okay.
It will
And-
be another month or 2, really, I think, before we have a really big handle on it. But
Sure.
they're almost positive we're not going to see it here in this country. But the best thing we have to advise is to look on the CDC's website, and if you are traveling out of the country, take a look to see what their advice is to you.
There was confirmed cases in the United States, though?
They
Travel?
said they're confirmed, but they're
Okay.
all travel related. No one has actually got the virus. And you have to remember, we don't have areas really here in the United States where you see mosquitoes constantly all
Sure.
year as you do like in Brazil. They're there all the time.
Yeah. So, what we'll do is probably, is there any other questions?
Excuse us, great, thanks.
We're gonna excuse with customary thanks.
Thomas,
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on.
This, I'm
Council
just
Hanlon?
reading the pamphlet. This can also be transmitted from person to person then? if
Well,
someone has it.
it's supposedly if the person has it, but it has to be a mosquito who can carry the Zika virus. And fortunately, that type of mosquito who can carry it is not here. And they're not, they say that they may have seen something, kind of a mutation down maybe in through the Caribbean, the islands off of the southern part of the United States, but those haven't migrated because they can't come here. They can't survive in our weather. And we will also be doing for information at Farmers Market, and we're going to put here on the city website, we have a coloring book for children now on Zika virus, and we have the information in 4 different languages that we will be able to have available. It's all still, whether or not how it's really transmitted is still a mystery. It's just why all of a sudden since 1943 do we have this big outbreak? You know, is there something else? Was it a mutation of the virus itself? It very well could be. I trust the CDC.
Counselor, any other questions?
No, it's just kind of, you know, I mean, I'm reminded of AIDS. You know,
Yeah.
how AIDS was
Uh-huh.
did not start in this country, it came from a foreign place, and so isn't this coming from a foreign place, you know, and it says it can be transmitted by the man or by blood transfusion, so that's, I mean, you guys,
Well,
they must be looking at that.
They
too,
are
right?
looking at it. The
Yeah.
CDC is very, very, like I said, everything, all their eggs are in that basket right now. They are really looking into this to make sure that it doesn't come here. And like I say, it has been all the cases that they have had here. They're still testing after a child is born, the placentas, the umbilical cords, everything is being sent. And they are still saying that no one here in the United States has gotten it. And they seem to feel that right now there's a handle on that. But there'll be much more research on it, much more.
What are the symptoms, so that we can air them out?
Fever, they're just general, very, very general.
Almost like flu-like symptom?
A little bit like a flu-like. To me, it's like you're coming back from a vacation and you go to work the first day and you don't feel good and you say, oh goodness, I need another week.
Sure.
That could be it. It's fever, rash, joint pain, and sometimes like a little red eye, like a conjunctivitis, which are very, very common things that you could have picked up anywhere.
Okay. What I'd like to do is hold it over for the month.
Very good, fine.
And then I'd like to have you come back before us, grant further time, have you come back before us, maybe with some more information on it, if you do have that.
That would be wonderful.
All right. Motion made.
Excuse customary time.
Excuse customary, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for appearing. Motion made.
Table for a month. I can't make a motion.
Motion be made to hold over for a month, grant for the time.
Grant further time and hold this over and have her appear within a month.
Provide additional information.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Ready? Why don't we take 2? We got a 3.
If I may, in a point of personal privilege, Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, I know that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 5 pieces. It looks like one of them probably will be laid over because the sponsor's not here. The other 3 are pretty important. I have to leave in half an hour, so I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that, so we can just keep our questions wherever, be tight so everyone
Sure.
can hear it. So which item did you want to take?
Why don't we take 2? We'll go in order.
Okay. It's regular order, so.
All right. Item number 2 is a resolution by Council McKinnon to have the fire chief and police chief and union reps at this meeting to explain the civil service list or wait list that individuals are selected from, and how the last group of individuals were selected, and the names of all that were selected in the group hiring, as well as those who were not selected.
Could we have the fire chief, representative union, and police chief, also the police unions, and also the human resources director before us?
We had a great lesson on this at the 810 the other night. After the meeting, the fire guys came, you know, we talked about it for an hour and a half, all different things, engines and hoses and everything else.
Got full house.
Yes.
It's almost like a
everything is
union
free
meeting here.
beside me is a dollar.
If you could just state your name, start on this side, and titles.
Just press the button.
Just press the button, turn green, you go.
Jeffrey McCabe, Everett Police Department, Patrolman Union President.
Stephen Panzini, Superior Officers Union, Vice President.
Tino Rosa, Superior Officers Union, Secretary, Treasurer.
Mike Vetrano, HR Director.
Dana Sears, Vice President, Local 143.
Craig Hardy, President of 143, Everfire.
Good evening, Steve Mason, Chief of Police.
Thank you for all appearing tonight. This is my piece. I'll be asking some questions from the chair. To the Human Resources Director, I asked for some information. Did you do have it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any copies of that so the board could have it?
This is going up to the thing, I guess?
What it is the current, fire and police list?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. All right. Now, for the, we'll go with fire first. On the fire list, there was just recently a list that was out, and there was people that were selected off that list. Is current civil service list, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how were those people selected? Through current civil service rules?
That's correct. We use the civil service process, and we use a third-party administrator to run the background checks, and based on that, we make the decisions are made.
Okay. Now, were any of these individuals on the list, have they been on there for a number of years, or how does that work?
So unfortunately, I can't answer that because it was prior to my start in the new role. This process started with these fire candidates, so I'm not sure how long they've been on that list.
Okay.
I assume the responsibility of that when it was pretty much at the phase we were at where they were getting physicals, so.
So you came in late in the game, we'll say.
Midstream, yeah.
Okay. All right, so maybe I can ask the representative from the fire department if there was any knowledge of how that worked with the fire people actually getting on the list and then how they were selected.
So I believe the list that we're working off of now is from the entry-level firefighter statewide list from 2014. That list is established after it's taken in spring. They go through a physical portion, they go through a written portion, then their scores are compiled, and then the state puts them in order to their ranking. When we're ready to hire people, or we're looking to hire people, we request the state give us the list, and then that's what we work off.
Okay, so anybody that's on this list could have been on this list for a number of years, or?
They could have been on since April, but they could have been on as short a time as 6 months because there are military makeups. So if you're active duty military, or if you're active duty military, there's certain times of the year that the state will allow you to take a entry-level exam, and so that list is updated.
Okay,
So there may be some on there that weren't on there didn't take the test in April of 14, and they could have taken it whenever the next was offered.
Okay. Now, hiring practices would be, what, one body for 3 spots? Is that how current civil service works now?
I believe it's a 2N plus 1. So, for example, if we're putting on 5, it would be 11, somewhere around there. So
Sure.
for
So
every
you could
one
reach
spot,
up-
there's- Yeah, for every one spot, there would be 2, and then at the end, there would be 1.
Okay.
The other thing that you have to take into account with that, that figure is if there's ties. So if there's several people in a tie, you can't stop at that. If there was 5 people tied at 11, you would have to pull all of those people into the process.
Okay. So they would all be involved?
They would
with
all
that?
be involved in the
Okay.
process.
Now, how about disabled veterans, and also relatives of a fallen firefighter?
Yep, if you look at that list, I don't have the list in front of me, Julie.
Actually, I looked at it before, prior.
If you look at the list and look to the right, it'll show their status, and some of them have numbers. It'll,
402, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll see some people's names up there, and they'll appear on every state list. The ones with the numbers will appear on every state list. I believe there's a female's name on the top of that list.
Yes, and she was a
She
member
was,
of Fallen?
She was a relative, a daughter of a fallen, I don't know if it was her father or mother, police officer or firefighter. So
Okay.
she'll appear on every list that she takes, whether it's police or fire throughout the state.
Yep.
And if she chooses to elect to become, to enter the process in Everett, we would interview her. She obviously didn't. Then after that, you would see the disabled veterans and then veterans.
Okay. Now, they have preference?
They have preference as far as the test is concerned, yes.
Okay. And then how about hiring procedure? Do they also have preference, or?
In what sense, Counselor?
If there's there's a total of 9 that are veterans, disabled veterans, and
Yep.
fallen of family members,
Yep.
would they be considered first before anyone else?
So the way civil service law guides us in the hiring process is to look at everybody individually. And before we could go to that next person, we would have to have a real good reason to not select them.
Okay.
So in
'Cause I
that
noticed-
sense, I just don't want to say something like preference,
Sure.
because it's not really, we treat non-veterans, veterans, disabled veterans, fallen spouses or sons or daughters of fallen firefighters or police officers the same way. We look at every one of them, and if there's something in their past or a record or anything like that, then we would judge before we went to the next one. But we would have to have reasons, and we submit those reasons to civil service when the process is complete.
Okay. Are any of these, well, that leads to my next question. Is any of these individuals that were on this list now that were vets or fallen family members of, or disabled vets, were
Does
they?
it say disabled vet next to anybody?
Yeah, it does, actually.
So they
So-
would be disabled veterans.
So they would actually get more of a point system on a score of 10?
They go to
say?
the top of the list.
Okay, and they go to the top.
They go to
So
the
they would need a justified reason to not actually be
We would need a
considered?
justified reason to bypass anybody.
Okay. And that would be, have we had, my question now goes to you, Human Resources Director. Was there any reasons why we would bypass any of these people?
If someone didn't get hired, there would be reasons, but unfortunately, due to compliance laws with the Department of Labor, we're unable to share that to the public.
Okay. Would you be able to share that with me in person if I came down and talked to you about that to see? Because in the sense of transparency, there was individuals that were on this list that were not considered for some reason, or I don't know why, but they were on the list for 2 years, 2 consecutive years. That's what they had told me, and I just want to make sure that that's true to the matter. And, you know, if they're paying for the test to be taken, they should be at least considered. And
Happy to
then,
verify with civil service whether that is actually accurate and true.
Absolutely.
And then we can have a conversation after that. However, I can't say now that I could share with you the reasons why.
yeah, that's fine. We'll further investigate it,
Absolutely.
and then we'll go in. Okay.
Happy to.
Also, Chief Mazie, we had mentioned, you had testified before us before when we had mentioned the casino coming in and stuff like that. We were going to be further hiring. Do you actually do the same type of scenario as the fire on your hiring? And does it take a little bit longer for like vetting, the vetting system for your candidates?
Similar. The exceptions would be, we conduct our own background investigations, which are extensive.
Yeah?
And the only other way of hiring, outside of the civil service list is a civil service lateral transfer.
The
And that's-
transfers?
That's really it. That's the only 2 ways to hire.
Which would you prefer?
Well, we've done a mix over the years. We continue to. I think they're both good. They both can be beneficial. I mean, obviously, if you have tight economics, tight budgets, which we've had, years ago, and you want to get manpower on the street in a faster way, laterals can be good. But right now, the approach we're taking is looking at both.
Now, this next round of hirings that we're going to be doing, how many are you anticipating hiring?
I think right now, if the budget gets approved, there'll be roughly a total of about 11 new officers, with officers who have left through attrition, in with the new numbers.
Now, will they be on within 6 months, or will they start the process now and then?
It depends on which, again, a lateral transfer, you can process in 2 to 3 months.
Just getting them used to the city and stuff like that, is that?
Yeah, we'll get them in process, then we put them in an abbreviated field training officer program, but these are people who have, obviously, they're trained
Sure.
already, been to a police academy, they have some level of experience. We primarily try to recruit people from urban environments, so they're used to city policing, in diverse backgrounds. And then a new recruit off the civil service list, you're talking a much longer process, from beginning to end to actually.
What,
get-
about 6 months, maybe?
Longer than that, depending
All
on, timing is everything on police academies, but you're talking on average, by the time you start, if you hit it lucky, 9 to 12 months, when an officer's out of the academy, field trained, and on his own, actually policing.
Okay. So, I mean, how do we go about hiring them sooner, like vetting them sooner so that they're ready to just jump?
So we're already we're doing that right now. So
Okay,
we-
you're in the process?
We're looking, yes, correct. We're vetting some people right now. We're doing some interviews. The good thing is, so for lateral transfers, for example, there are a number of people interested in policing, coming ever to police.
Sure.
Some of the backgrounds on people, a lot of them are veterans. We're interviewing people that are from very diverse backgrounds, including backgrounds of a lot of the large immigrant groups in our city, including people from South America, Central America, Haiti.
Languages?
You have multiple, a number of individuals speak 2, 3, one individual just interviewed speaks 4 languages. Some have special training in addition in various levels of experience, anything
Sure.
from a couple years to 4, 5, 10 years.
All right, so that's already in process then? All right.
Correct.
And that should be upcoming 11 total bodies? If the budget's approved?
Correct.
Okay. And, do we have anything, gentlemen, from the union to add to that? You have the Superiors Union here, and you also have patrolmen. Who wants to go first?
No, we've spoken before at the previous meeting with the chief, he has kept us in the loop. We have sat down, we have discussed several issues, and we are on board with this form of hiring right now. The need, as I said before, is somewhat urgent, and like the chief said, this is the best way to get people, trained people, qualified people on the street as soon as possible. That'll be beneficial to the city.
Oh, yeah. Anything from the Superiors?
As far as the superior officers, we're concerned with supervision on the street 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming into the summer months. We just want to make sure that we have the proper coverage.
Chief, just a quick question on that. Is there any anticipated ranks coming up, like sergeant or lieutenant, or to cure that issue?
You asking if there's going to be any movement in the ranks? Immediacy, I don't believe so, but, I could get an email tomorrow with someone telling me they're retiring.
Sure.
So it's really hard to predict.
Do you anticipate any retirees coming?
Oh, we have a number of people that are eligible to retire. That doesn't mean they will retire.
Sure. How many, about? Just give me a rough
Well, it's
number off the
sliding
top.
scale. Over the next few years, we have a number of people, there's a number of people right now in the superior officer ranks that are eligible for retirement.
Okay.
There's at least 3 who have the time and the age.
Will these numbers cover those if they do choose to retire? Or do you need to have additional numbers behind them?
Well, if someone chooses to retire, we would replace them.
Okay, so you would be able to just come right in and
Correct.
start vetting
Through
right
the whole
away?
civil service
Okay.
process. Yes.
All right.
We did an unofficial survey, the union, just discussing with some people and just looking at the time that officers that are on now have, and our calculations read that over the next 3 to 5 years, we could possibly lose up to 25 to 28 people. They'll have their time and/or age to retire, should they choose that.
Sure.
So that's something that, we've discussed with the chief, he's aware of, and, that's
That would be
something
under
we're all
the-
working together
Yeah.
to,
That would be contractual or whatever, you're trying to get more numbers in or something to that effect?
just to remain where we are.
Sure. All right. You have anything from fire before I open it up? Fire union? On regards
No.
to this list or?
No, Deputy Colley covered it all, pretty much.
Okay. Councilman Capone?
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, through you, to, I guess, Fire Department first. I just want to make sure that I understand it. First of all, at the outset, City Council doesn't have anything to do with the process. However, just for understanding, with regards to how it works, is score just one variable, or do you start with highest score and then go from there? How does all that work under civil service?
So the score is, the written test is one variable in civil service test. There's also physical variables.
Okay.
They provide the score. I don't know how.
Okay. And then veteran status, et cetera, how does that come into play?
After that, the physical and the written, once you prove that you're a veteran,
Might shift you on the list, so. Okay.
so a veteran that has a 75, we just qualify for the disabled veteran that has a 70.
Okay.
Within each, I guess, category, there are stuff.
Okay. And a layperson with 77, would they be, how does that fall in?
And they would be a resident of the city.
Okay. Okay. And does the police department work the same way with regards to that, or no? Chief?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Does the civil service work the same way with the police department?
Same, yeah, exactly,
Okay.
same exact way.
Okay, great. And then with this list, I see all these signatures that are on the list. Are those folks, I think there's 18, are those folks that are going to academy or training, or how does all that work?
So the signatures that you see is the first initial process that the city has in contact.
Okay,
HIV, human resources, some down the line, you'll see some in signatures,
okay. So I see there's 9 vacancies, you have like 18 signatures. What happens there? Is it a matter of looking at those folks to fill the 9, or how does that all work? You mentioned 2 and 1 as far as doubling up the number of slots and,
So for every spot that we look at, we
Hmm.
interview those people.
okay,
However, it's the 2N plus 1 as far as civil service. Again, if you look next to the left side of the map, so you look at the numbers,
Yep.
some people have the same numbers as you.
okay,
Those would be considered ties. We treat all of those people the same. We give those first in that tie.
okay. And the signatures here just means interviews are going on, not that anything has been
That's
offered?
the start of the process.
Okay.
After we get that back, or after we run the time is done, human resources will set up interviews, within, actually, they'll set up background check, they'll start doing that process.
And then just as many slots there are, that's who's going to be extended an offer?
And we make
Okay.
that relatively, we make it very clear during the interview process that some people are interviewed, and we try to explain this as much as we can. If you're being interviewed, you might be a great candidate, but we had to be reachable after some
Okay.
requires, but we might not be able to.
Right, and
With 1 through 9 are perfect,
you don't go any further than that?
That's
So,
it, yeah.
just because your name is there, you're signed, it's not a guarantee that you have a slot. Okay. I have no other questions. Thank you very much.
Counselor Hanlon?
Just one question, I think I might know the answer. This list runs out at some time, right?
yes, so
So-
there was just an entry-level fire exam, I believe, last month.
Okay.
So those results are, those come out probably in the fall, we compile the list, and then this is the process.
Okay, so the ones you're gonna do in the fall, how long does that last? How many? 2 years, okay. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I have one more question. When they're selected, they have to have, if they state Everett residency, that has to be for 1 year domicile in Everett, correct?
I believe the council adopted something,
It's 7 years after that, once you're hired, I believe. So, all these individuals are Everett residents or non-Everett residents? So how is that?
all these, at the requirement to be a resident on that list, they have to prove that
And how is that proof?
through the background investigation.
So they do a background investigation, they prove that they live in Everett, and then they have to stay in Everett for a certain period of time? Is that
Again,
how?
I believe, you said it's 7 years.
I believe it's 7.
It is,
but-
7
okay.
years of city ordinance, that's correct.
7 years? Okay. And that's good for that whole 7 years, that's what they do? They actually check residency and stuff like that, or how do they
The
do that?
private investigators that we use it for the entry-level program. I'm not sure of the city's follow-up throughout that.
Reason why I ask is because we're looking at ourselves now for candidacy, so there was a piece before us, and that's why I asked.
Yeah. Oh, no.
We're going to start with ourselves as well, too, so.
I'm not sure of the city's process to follow up within those 7 years.
Mhm.
I'm well aware of what the private investigators do for us as far as vetting these potential candidates.
Okay. What I'd like to do is lay it over for a month, and I'll meet up with them and re-invite them back within 1 month.
Excuse me, customary thanks.
Excuse the customary thanks. I think we have
Thank you, gentlemen.
another issue with fire and, let's see, and also police, so
What do we do with
you
this
could stay.
one?
Thank you.
So with this particular piece, we're going to grant further time?
Yeah.
Invite the individuals back another month?
In June.
June.
Motion made and seconded to grant further time, re-invite the individuals back within a month, and we'll talk about the investigation portion of this with Human Resources Director. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. You have done so. Take 3.
Item number 3 is a resolution offered by Council McKinnon to request the fire chief or his representative with the union rep to appear before this meeting to explain grants. The city and to provide committee with 2 years of grants that were given to the city.
Thank you for appearing again. My question on this would be you gave me a document tonight, and I believe the councils have the document as well. Can you just read off some of these grants that were, and explain just briefly a few of them?
Absolutely. The first one on the item, the first one on the list is the Safer Staffing Grant, and has a date from 5/1/13 through 4/30/2016. It's a brief description of it. But this is the Safer Grant. This is given through the federal government. This is what allows us sometimes to apply for these grants, get a lot of money to put firefighters on.
Sure.
And if you look at, just a brief description, 8 firefighters for 2 years' salary and benefits, 1 additional year for 1 firefighter, which is a veteran. There's some type of clause in that Safer Grant where if there's veterans in that group, I believe that they can be able to extend his salary.
For 1 year. Now, that was used for this hiring here?
No, that ended, those
Okay.
gentlemen now, one of the biggest issues with these Safer Grants is, we've seen it throughout the Commonwealth, we've seen it throughout the country, is people have
I shut that off.
sounds great, the weather.
Yeah. Getting ready for the beach.
Well, one of the big issues with this is, it's great to get free money, but a lot of times we've seen it throughout the state and throughout the country, when the money's gone, we put these people on the street. Thankfully, the city didn't do that. This administration has absorbed those firefighters. And that actually showed us in a better light for what we see as the next
Sure.
item, which is the new safety plan, which is what some of these firefighters that we talked about in the last item. Some of those firefighters really didn't call it a new plan. We have 5
How many?
8 firefighters again. 2 salaries, 2 years salary and benefit, 1 additional year. So if you look at that item 2/3/2016 through 3/2/2018, those are the positions that we were talking about in the last item.
Okay.
Will be funded, some of them. The third is emergency management training grant program. This helps fund, right now we're doing a generator program down at the Armory, a large scale issue.
any of these grants that you see on here, they're always better than us.
Sure.
We're lucky to have the state and but that's what you'll see there. We bought it, through the past couple of years, we bought portable lighting, we bought some pumps for the water issues, things like that. To really support public health, we spent a lot of money on as well. Again, emergency management planning grant, that's the,
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
If you look at this first budget, it says fiscal year 2015, the state has that earmarked. If you put, that's actually 2014.
So that's a 2014?
Yes, and then the next one is 2015. See, they're the same number.
Yeah.
So, several years ago, the city was included with Boston and Cambridge in the state budget that has that. Partially due to the our issue that again, I think the state government saw us as a need to help support our hazmat resource. And so that's not part of that.
What is the, what's the resource, what did you get for the funding?
So I believe in 2014, a vehicle was purchased and some training was done.
Yeah.
And I believe
Where is that vehicle housed now?
it's currently at Hancock Street.
Okay. And what, any equipment with it, or?
Yeah, there's a lot of equipment with it, as far as metering, without getting too much into fund management.
Yeah, that's fine.
Encapsulating sheets,
So there's different equipment that was in line with this, okay. What about training?
training is also. So
Okay.
we bring in outside contractors. Last year, we brought in hazmat operation and weather response enforcement, off of our members of the city, to help us use that.
All right. Student awareness, that was
So
what?
that's what you see.
These are all just earmarked out, and these are coming?
So, student awareness, that's through the state fire marshal's office, Department of Fire Service. That's
Sure.
when we go into the schools, we speak to people. We've also done some smoke detectors to see the, senior safe grant, that's also a portion of that. It's about $9,000 a year we get, and we can use it to see the plastic helmets that the kids wear after we go into
Yeah.
school. Something that's, really advanced is we have, stovetop fire display that we can use in senior housing to keep people out of the house and putting out stovetop.
Sure. All right. Now, these are all the grants for the past 2 years that have come in, money-wise?
Yes.
Okay. And this is it, complete list? Okay.
I just want to explain that, urban area security initiative.
Sure.
It's really good for people when they see that it's $18 million.
Yeah.
15 was 18 million, and 16, it's 17.7 million. And what that is, we're part of a 9-community UASC system.
It's coalition, collaborative?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 surrounding communities from Quincy, Boston's obviously the major area. So that's what we benefit from. You know, Boston bought any equipment, Hampton bought something based on, we're eligible to use it.
Sure. If there was a situation, you'd go and, okay.
But out of that money, those 2 years, the direct pass-through from the UASC grants, if you look over on the right, it's
Yeah.
$76,260. That's actually what we saw. And we purchased everything from, tents, as far as you can see us,
Command center?
command center, things of that.
Yeah, okay. And, let's see. So the UASC grants, that's, what, so the total amount of grants was, what, includes the UASC?
I believe at the bottom, you'll see that 3.379.
Yeah.
Direct, and then includes UASC, I think that's on.
Okay, so that would be the total? All right. Now, all these grants, they include training with it, correct?
Some are very
Some.
specific. We'd love to see training attached to every one.
Sure.
But a lot of times the federal government doesn't like to see that. They'll give you equipment and put a house on it. And we don't always use it.
And you have to figure out how to use
We
it.
have to figure out
All
how
right.
to use it, and we have to figure out, creative ways. We'd love to see overtime and backfill attached to every one of these and training funds for a lot of times.
Sure. Thank you. And anything from the union on that?
Just on the union end, I mean, we're not too, I shouldn't say familiar with these grants. We know we received them. We're not too familiar on, let's say, the usage of them. We do see equipment that come through the firehouses and all that. And just on this hazardous duty one, I mean, I have been in talks with Cambridge and Boston, and they do very different with their monies than we do with our money, so
What do they do?
they pay for training and all that stuff. And they do the training though, where they pay for backfill if a company's out of service and they backfill the firehouse, or they'll pay for good training to come in where the members are getting paid overtime on their off time to do, of course, hazardous duty training and all that stuff, but.
Okay.
So it's just different uses, different departments, so hopefully, we can learn more about it with the, new administration and figure it out.
Sure. Councilors?
No questions.
Seeing no other questions, I'd like
Excuse the
to
customary.
excuse with the customary thanks. Do we have anything else for fire or no?
No, I think the last one is police.
Fire, excuse with customary thanks. Thank you for appearing
Thank you very
tonight. I'm going to actually refer this back to sponsor.
Okay. Refer item, can we suspend the rules? No. Suspend the rules and refer item number 7 back, is it 7? Or this one? This one. Number 3?
Number 3.
Okay, we'll refer item number 3 back to sponsor.
Motion made and seconded to refer item number 3 back to sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Can we suspend the rules and take item number 7?
Suspend the rules and take item number 7. All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Item number 7, this is a resolution up by Council Buchanan to have the chief of police attend this meeting to explain what he will be doing to beef up patrols in anticipation of the summer months.
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'm already beyond my time, but out of courtesy to the chief and the members, I'll sit tight for a few more minutes, but I got to get out of here, so.
we got just a couple questions,
Sure,
that's it. I just
absolutely.
want to hear from the chief on this. Chief, what's your plan for the summer? How to beef up patrols, bikes, just if you could give us a short overview.
Yep, we actually broke out, we're doing an assessment of our mountain bicycles right now. There's about 7 of them that we believe are gonna be in good shape to go out and patrol. So we're planning on deploying some mountain bike units later. Usually we start doing this around Memorial Day, into the summer. Prior to that though, we're already planning some, what we call blue blitzes, where we basically flood, we empty out the station of all personnel, administrative personnel, specialized units, either uniform up, depending on what our goals are. We've done anything from warrant sweeps to targeting specific areas or just going out walking streets and getting to know some people. So we'll be pushing a few of those in May into June in preparation for the summer. The busiest month for us, numbers-wise, is June. With a little over 3,000 calls for service, followed by, July and August are just touching 3,000. So, the goal is to try to, nip, some of the problems and trying to get people to, understand what they can do and can't do early on in May and June, so that July and August are more quiet for us.
Hopefully that works pretty
Yes.
well. Thank you for that. Do you see any increase in overtime for the summer months, or?
So that's where the increase always is in
Sure.
the summertime. We're hoping that, right now, this process we're looking at with lateral transfer is that, we think we have a number of good candidates. We're gonna make I refer the, people that we believe are good candidates to the mayor, so he can, make some decisions, and, once that takes place, those additional personnel we're hoping around the streets, by some point in June, but definitely for July and
Sure.
August, which will help us out.
Awesome. Thank you for reporting that. Anything from the patrol or superiors on that?
Through our end, sir, we understand, as the chief said, that the summers are our biggest months for overtime. We would like to see the city appropriate some additional money for resources to add over and above, without getting to specifics, required staffing levels, so that we may, involve ourselves in more proactive type activity, not only through the summer, but into the fall, up to Halloween. Warm weather months. The last few years, we've had some warm Septembers and Octobers. Any additional money from the city could be utilized to go over and above what we're dealing with and allow us to do more, proactively, and so the people out there, they can see us out there doing
Sure.
what we're doing.
Is that it?
That's primary, well, you know, what we've discussed amongst ourselves regarding that.
Sure. So it's an internal, you're talking internally about that?
We have, well, we have mentioned things to the chief, but, you know, obviously, you know, he works within the budget given. If there's a way the city can assist us in that with additional resources, of course, you know, we're all in favor of that, and we strongly encourage that. We'd like to see that.
Sure. Anything else? Councilors? Do we have anything else for them?
I don't believe so. Excuse customary thanks.
Excuse customary thanks. Thank you for appearing tonight, gentlemen. If we have any other further questions, I'll call you, chief, or I'll talk to you, gentlemen. Thank you. I'm going to refer this back to sponsor.
Okay.
Yes.
So moved.
Motion made, is seconded to refer this back to sponsor. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Could take, what, 4 and just
Yeah, lay it
refer
over.
it, lay it over to the
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
Do we have to read 4 or no?
Waive the reading.
Just read it. and then we'll sign
Item
it.
number 4, this is a resolution offered by Council McLaughlin to invite the mayor, DPW director, and contractor for Sacramone Park to the next government, well, to this government operations meeting to discuss Sacramone Park renovations.
Mr. Chairman, under our council rules, I think we have to lay this over to our next meeting. We'll re-invite the individuals as they are.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded is lay this over to the June meeting and re-invite the individuals that are mentioned. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. You have done so.
Could we,
Number 8.
could we reconsider item number 8?
Motion made and seconded to reconsider item number 8.
Aye. Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'm requesting a motion that we ask the city engineer to give us a copy of the original traffic study that made that street the way it is, so that when we do the next traffic study, we'll be able to compare the two of them together and find out why it was done that way. Okay?
To amend it to have a original copy of the first
Traffic.
traffic commission study.
So
There's an amendment to this piece, other than the original amendment, or the original piece, to have the original study, the first original study of Church Street, traffic flow and traffic study, to be attached to this so we can make comparison. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? You have done so.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.